All right, happy winter solstice 2021. I'm kind of pleased that it's the winter solstice today because I have seasonal depression and today's the shortest day of the year. So once I get past today, at least I can tell myself things are only going better as the months go by, right? But actually, seasonal depression usually hits me in the early part of the year. January and early February are especially tricky for me. At least there's a lot of events going on in December to take your mind off of what's going on, right? So, January is just very dark and gloomy and lonely for me, right? You can't really go out to the walking trails where I love. I hope to travel to Phoenix, Arizona, but that's a little bit iffy given the situation of things. February gets better. I especially love Valentine's Day because there's something I love to do on Valentine's Day. I'll get to that in a second. To a little bit of activism, if you will, and also it's just exciting for me as well. I'm not a big fan of football, but I'll try to be this year because at least it will give me something to think about during this time, right? I don't know how we're going to handle the anniversary of January 6th, but certainly it's not something to celebrate about, right? These last events of the last couple of years probably will make Martin Luther King Day a little bit more recognized this year. But again, it's not an especially festive day, right? But I do have Valentine's Day to look forward to. Now, the problem I have with how we handle the holiday season is right now I'm working at a relatively small university, and I also do some gig work at a tutoring center, and I also have a bunch of private tutoring gigs. Now, I'm especially busy this week because most of my peers, they want to celebrate Christmas, right? They're going out with they're going to home to see family. I don't mind that part. I don't mind filling in with for my colleagues with that in that regard. The problem is it doesn't reciprocate when there's something that I need to do that really doesn't apply to most of my peers, right? So I would love to be able to go away in January, to go to Phoenix, get myself tanned, and go on a few intermittent fasts there because it's warmer, it's easier to do a fast. I can't really fast 48 hours in the wintertime in Seattle. I wouldn't say I can't, but not very comfortable, probably not very safe either. And but if I did that, I would probably lose a lot of my tutoring gigs, and unfortunately, my colleagues can go away during Christmas and be accepted for who they are, right? And just yesterday, I got into a serious argument with, well, not an argument, but a concern. One of my tutoring clients, her mom was concerned about me saying that I had an eating disorder. Her mom's a nurse, so she would know some of this terminology. She said I had orthorexia, and I know that term actually, and I'm actually pretty proud that I have it. The problem is that I don't have orthorexia. Mainstream media has orthorexia about how I eat, and I didn't want to point that out to her. I said, thanks for the concern, but I've been eating this way for 2 years now. I think I could actually, the kind of food I've been eating for 15 years. The control of the amount of food I've been handling for 2 years now. And I said, well, thank you for your concern, but I've been eating healthy foods for 15 years now, and 2 years ago I had some trouble with relationships with food that I'm dealing with. But in the back of my mind, I so badly wanted to say, why don't you accept me for what I eat, And 200 years ago, we didn't have processed food, and nobody died from not having it. I so badly wanted to say that. If they weren't my clients, if they were just a close friend, that's probably what I would have said. But the same goes for differences in family connection, for religion. I'm not very religious about Christmas. But last summer, I'm not very religious at all, but last summer I decided to go on a fast. But for a friend of mine who is religious, And it was a dry fast. It was very challenging for me. And I'm already dreading, having to do this next year. But she's a very close friend of mine. And also next year, it's later in the year, so that'll be even more and especially if I'm not living in Phoenix at the time, it'll probably be especially challenging. But it's a close friend of mine. So why does one certain set of family circumstances or religion or sexual orientation or dietary orientation, why is it okay to take time off, eat in a certain way, practice various religious traditions, just because they fit into the mainstream and not a whole different set of them, right? That's my question I have for society. So I love Valentine's Day because they allow me to practice this difference without too much pushback, right? I love going out as a solo sexual on Valentine's Day. Even when I'm dating somebody else, I'll still find time to go out as a solo sexual just to be able to push back, because so many times people have not accepted me for being solo sexual. When I was in high school, I so badly wanted to go to prom without a partner. At the time, I might not have been solo sexual, but I still wanted to join all the festivities before I found somebody. That didn't go very well, right? When I was in college, a lot of times I just, not only that, but a lot of times I just straight up didn't even get invited to various things just because I was overlooked, right? Anyway, okay. So please recognize that there's a whole set of other circumstances outside the ones that you may be comfortable with, right? Whether they be sexual orientations or dietary orientations, religions, differences in recreational activities, differences in how we celebrate life, differences in how we take care of our bodies, and unfortunately, I'll have to think hard. If I go to Phoenix in January, the odds are I'm going to come home to a huge mess with my career, but I'll have to think about that because I really felt so good when I got myself tanned, and I'll think hard about that. And January is just such a rough month for me. If you guys know anything else that one can celebrate in January, feel free to leave a comment. I'll definitely, even though January 6th, I don't think too many people are going to be talking about that, I'll probably do an intermittent fast. Alright, thanks for watching.